With the Samsung OLED match start, an important game for Furia because you want to have that first championship point for this stage because you're not going to get in it for the play-ins. For EG, it's a super week. They have a chance to win this one here, maybe get an upset against NRG and really shake up the top two seeds going into the play-ins to the playoffs. Now, importantly here, EG, with the first time that they show their summit on the attack side, playing this slicer with a Viper and a double controller. They want to slow down the map a little bit here. You're seeing a lot of that focus on a 2-2-1 setup, trying to control the middle with this camera first to see if anybody's going to push forward, which they did at first, which now enables this push and this pressure to happen towards this B main.
I think the double controller's really smart here as they move into this against Furia. You're going to want to cut that off as much as possible, and it's something they put a lot of priority on for Shy and Koala Noob. But now, as we mark our way down archways here towards mid, just a quick step into the clear, and EG had already encroached on quite a bit of space. Spike's still down, though, as they work the map. Ooh. Okay, Superman.
I'm looking good today. No, but for real, for Furia, they're definitely trying to peek to try to find information because they lost players so early into the round. This now causes for them to peek and get caught with their pants down, but Basic's still able to drop two.
And he's going in for another, but Superman quiets that shot. Digizine on your screen. Getting that spike down as he sees Artson just across the map through X-Ray. X-Ray have to make his way in, and there's so many angles to clear to get through this. Might be impossible, but the HP bars say different as our first one comes online. He now has to source that second, and they're going to try to create the crossfire here, or at least the contact play, which would be so smart. Artsine, you heard Koala Noob talking about it earlier. All that experience, being a veteran, has been in these situations so many times, and why not start off with a pistol round for the squad? But it's not going to happen. Superman has that experience as well, and the 3K to boot to start us off.
Good on EG to clean things up as well after Bao just got picked off here from Artazine walking back into the site. You don't know where the rotate's coming from, so everybody's watching at a different angle. But as soon as he falls, you see the last two players in the crossfire setup, making sure that they're watching their angles, but focusing more on the spike getting tapped before going in. So a nice start here for the side of EG, adding a lot of pressure again in the slow play. I'm expecting this to happen a lot for EG's end. You see a little bit of a focus for Furia. 3 guys setting up on this side, maybe even a pop flash to try to get Koala Noob down the line to fight. But as they realize that there's no util being thrown early for the side of EG, they just want to backpedal here and just make sure that their crossfires are set up correctly over on this A side.
I want to see if the knife starts coming out early for Basic too, or if since there's so much room a team has to gain before using the knife, it's just better to use it somewhere towards that 1 minute mark as they're still waiting, and EG is slowly moving forward. Has a chance to grab the orb, but also the options to work the rest of the map where they still have a bit of vision. Nice job to cut that. There's their 0-point usage.
Easy for EG to say, okay, well, let's cut our losses there, pick up the orb, fall back, and rework the map. But a good point here on Basic where you see him putting such big numbers on this stage on a KO, and you almost think he's a one-trick, a Vibe Merchant on the breach. But actually, back in Challengers in the VCL, previously before even 2G Academy, he was playing for Gremio Esports, and he was actually a KO merchant, one trick on that side with just a little bit of breach. So when it comes down to his experience on flexing different agents, he definitely has it for the side of Furia.
Paranoia is through the fast lane to break all of that distance. Quickly, Calm just gets himself out of sight, and 4 members of Furia are scrambling for the door. Lop the heads off.
Waiting for Calm as well,
they need some help.
Be easy.
King Calm, please, come cut the door down. So messy.
Lothar, please come back to Twitter. I need to see your tweet.
I'm sure he agrees with it. A third now for EG as they try to flip over into their bonus, not seeing really any members of Furia that round. And what will they set up? It looks like they've split up that flash combo they had that you mentioned last time over at A to just really create a line of scrimmage with everyone on this now. Let's see that replay again. Oh my God.
Player standing.
Holy Artson ace.
You're just messing up the stats now.
That's one thing that's important to hear through these comms, though. They talked about it for the side of Artazine, that they want to alleviate a little bit of that pressure. Play a little bit for fun and Nice to see that the vibes are up at this start, which allows here Artazine to have a nice little ADS tap right into Digizine. A bonus round for EG that tried to activate Digizine at the start, but this might be just a group up, try to fight somewhere here and get that spike down.
Calm watching down Bended A with that Odin. So I don't think that's going to be used by too much by EG here this round unless he moves out of the way. And yeah, they don't have to do anything. I think this is one of the biggest things for Furia or EG or some of the teams that find themselves losing the rounds they should be winning is that they're peeking. They're still sourcing information when really EG has to come to you now 100%. It might have been a protocol before, but just let that swing happen. Oh, all right. Shy says only one. But now it's EG's job to actually get as close as they can to make sure there's no crossfires. There's no anchor protection here, and they have taken out 2 towards that A site. Very nice with the work of the controller.
How did this just all happen there? You also had this lurk from Bao at the middle trying to break that trip in the first place, and his goal was trying to force that rotate from that side. Yet EG just walks in, gets the 2 first openers into the A site, and somehow it becomes a winnable situation for EG in a bonus.
We're going to convert that 4v5 real fast, it seems. Just holding an angle, waiting for the rest of the team to come over. But also, Bao is just timing this one out. Really not going until the team sees action in sight, which is going to be one of the latest points, but still has to deal with Shy at Ben. Watching Calm now as he tries to get in a great ping off of that dart. Gets 2 as he starts to spam a little bit, but he runs short and dry on the mag. Superman keeping it clean from pistol round on. And now it's going to be Shy. Gets tempted by Bao, and the lurk is going to come up big in the end for those 2. 3-0 as EG grab bonus round.
That'll be such a huge upgrade for EG as well. 3 players staying alive and upgrading to weapons. Just a moot point and a pain point, rather, for the side of Furia when it should have been their round, especially with a nice little first blood from Artazine on to Digizine to kick off that round. But as you see, there's no real adaptation on that side of Furia. You're not trying to find the mid-round information. What happens after when you're playing the man advantage? Where can you stack? Where can you fight for some angles? And they just gave too much space for EG to take, and forcing themselves into an eco here.
I wonder if that's a little play how they prac, as Digizine was saying in the interview this morning.
Hopefully it's not like that, man, because that has been the story of Furia in all of these matches so far this stage. You want to try to fix things a little bit more quickly, try to be more proactive around the map, and you want to see that happen. Thankfully this time around, because they're on an eco, they're trying to stack up as much as they can and try to help out as they get the early info. But I want to see this happen a lot more in Furia's gun rounds.
See if they can connect any shots. Doors closed, they can easily watch drop. And they've all just filtered into the site. I think they realize too, staying closer on this low by EG, that is, from Furia, means these sheriffs can get taken down and not really do any continuous damage.
They're all just staying back for Furia as well.
That's spam.
At this point, you're hoping that EG goes in and tries to pick up some kills so they can build up ult orbs and you try to get punishes that way. But if not, dying to the spike would be the most important thing here, to continue to not allow EG to snowball with ult orbs. And I'm actually not liking this so far, that Furia are actually pushing in for all these fights, because they gave their lives earlier on their eco run in round number 2. Right? All 5 of them dying to the doors. Don't give these orbs. This time around, they're kind of just peeking one by one towards the end instead of just trying to die to spike and forcing the exits to happen and then let EG run into their crosshairs.
Yeah, that's definitely something you have to think about in the long run with those alt points building, the momentum that EG has, that this adds a little bit more weight. Definitely feeling it on the EG side. So comms from both teams here are up. Feeling pretty good. And we'll have to see for a 5th round. Odin's out on both sides. Operator is going to be there now for Shy.
That's it. The most important thing, though, it's on Shy. It's not on Koala Noob when it's usually the win con for Shy.
Ooh.
And again, EG scoring another first blood. And that's going to, again, thin out the defense. Thankfully, though, because you're playing this chamber at this position, you could lock down this area. You still have a trip on this side, too, so they could continue to play a passive mid. Because now you tried to go back and forth. I like the double peek in tandem between both Koala Noob and Shy. They don't manage to get a pick, but at least they get good information that EG are still working a slow 1-3-1.
Heck of a read there, too. And they realize it went to the right. If they hear this, they can probably assume that nobody's going to be quickly guarding it. Yeah. With the chamber going back. So Spike's still down, though. The last bit of noise, I think, made by Zerona here as the team moves to the right. and see if he can really start to give him some mind games. Here we go. That's the bit of the smoke. He will look for a fight here because he wants to sell it as much as he can. It's going to be a flick to the right, almost gets Qualanoob, and that's going to be Jig is up. They know without any more sound here, they're probably going to have to get a rotate on.
And EG could still continue to walk slow at the beginning because he placed an aggressive trip on that side too. As it's not being broken, they know they could slowly contact in until they finally reach the entrance, and here's the exec.
Oh, Artsy was only the audio there that he could deliver. No kills. Qualanoob sets up that restart on the retake very quick. 3v3 now, but they got a lot of ground to make up and wonder how much of the map is still covered by a lurker, which will be re-lurked by Superman.
That's the name of the game for EG. Try to stay alive as long as you can. You have a camera, you have a recon dart, you're trying to slow things down, slow the tempo. So Superman gets this huge backstab to start. The pineapple is being called. He already gets that backstab on the comm too. And the last two on a retake will be impossible to take.
That timing was insane. The first time we're seeing Summit for EG, and it looks like they have a UAV out there. Seeing where everybody is on the map for these lurks.
We didn't get to see too much of Fury on the defense either, because when he played against Energy, they were just getting their attack site shut down. If I'm not mistaken, it was like an 11-1 scoreline or a 10-2 in favor of Energy on the defense. And now Furia, you have the opportunity to not really show too much of your defensive side. You're picking it at first, since it's also your choice of sides. So you're not giving too much tape away to EG, but...
Doesn't matter, be safe. The Terminator's on the loose. Oh, shit.
Exactly. EG is doing an excellent job right now into their slow scaling. Not the best, unfortunately. You looked at it from 2025. They won the first game and barely won a map. Didn't even win a single map in 2025. This time, a strong start, but you're starting to see the resurgence as well of Furia back to the old ways, which is why, again, this matchup is going to be super important for Furia. This is probably the best team and the best matchup you could have in order to get your first championship points for Stage 2 and just build your confidence moving into the play-ins.
That's what Quala was saying. Due to the structure of those stages, the fact that they have that shots, though, with what they were able to do previously. Just looking at their games, if you went for a roll of the past 10, those wins came from, I think, week 2 of Stage 1, the last ones where they really saw a bit of prosperity. So it has been tough to find that answer here on the VCT stage, that is. All right, let's see how they decide to move out through here. A little bit of orb grabbing, setting up some other things, so they have some avenues to win as the rounds go on. And this timeout is going to be pretty quiet as Furia are on the left side towards B, and EG are just swarming all over A now.
A little bit of a good news that they were able to take down the orb in their favor on that B line for Furia, because there was no pressure for EG on that end. Now it's too late for you to move around here to... Well, I mean, I guess they could still try to just die to a door a second time around, but this time they want to look for those exits and really try to punish the late lurks, try to find the information of where EG could kind of be set up here in these post-plant scenarios. This time around, though, it's not necessarily Superman that's lurking around. It is going to be Bao instead.
And he still has the timing. One. Oh, Vandal a little harder to control there, but is going to bring it down for a third. Nicely done as Qualanoob finally cleans that up. And they even looked for it. You said it. Fury was kind of looking for that. As EG's looking for the exits, is there going to be a lurk? Yes, there is. But again, UAV online, timing is there. EG come up with another round. And they have been in full control of a lot of these, even if they're losing somebody first.
I'm also noticing now for Fury is that they're still having a hard time figuring out their identity going into the stages. You know, Qualanoob had the conversation with Dryad talking about how some teams are playing double controllers, some teams are playing double duelist. They're trying to go the double initiator route. But the thing is, playing double initiator, you're putting yourself at a solo duelist. But if your win con is also to put Qualanoob on an operator where he's supposed to be basically the best operator in the world in the eyes of Coach Shaw, why put him on the Waylay instead of a chamber? Because the rest of the team, there's not really anybody that can play the Waylay right now.
Well, let's see how EG is going to take this next round.
I'm walking on him. I'm walking on him.
I can drone it too, bro. Just wait. Yeah.
I don't see him. I'm close.
I'm waiting for that. One link.
Who's full blind?
I'm gonna drone this chamber, guys. I'm droning this chamber. Hold on, I'm droning him. I'm attacking him. 1 second.
Link.
Two-way link right now. I'm on the smoke. I'm on it. I dashed out. Recall.
Asher on your left. 35 on Waylay.
Last player standing.
Oh my god, really ult round.
What the fuck just happened?
Wild.
And Furia explode on stage. That's the loudest they've been so far. That one round in means a lot to them here, as they can actually look to make it even.
And they got value off the operator on Shy as well. When you see here that EG were trying to go towards this A site, they were just trying to beat the timing around EG's own Viper Wall. And that knife was huge by Basic. That removed a lot of that util. And I think that's going to be also the pain point on EG on the executes. If Basic will be able to continue to save his knife, going into the actual site execs of EG, that is going to thwart a lot of these site hits on the attack. You see he throws it early on this round just to get early information here. Why? Because EG has always been playing this super slow pacing of this work around the map, the 131s. When it comes down to maybe the 30 seconds left, 45 seconds until they actually activate, that knife is going to be back up. He also has a KO ult to work with as well, which is why he's rotating back towards his B side to support just in case.
We'll see if they start playing any different with Zerona's setup. Now, if he's put the wall differently, but where he's playing to be able to keep that active, keep that offline. Ooh, a little bit of a swap for Shy, thinking he had just another moment to stay safe there in an insert. He does not seem aware of just yet, but could have a flick on that. Back to EG, rinse and repeat on this round where they have 2 go mid and start to stretch the site by also having a few B main distractions. Oh, it's every time. The timing is crazy here. Bao and Superman have both played a hand in being able to lurk these around Furia. And now it's going to be the B-take. Basic on one quick hit as he puts the null command down to try and flex some muscles, but it's going to be another fight in his face, and Superman gets the best of him. Digizine, sorry, Koala Noob now, dancing around the Cosmic Divide.
10 seconds left.
There's a fight on multiple fronts here, front and the back of the site. The big one here right around the spike. If they can get control of this and figure it out. Superman takes down Basic from that kill before. Waiting on the wall. This is going to just drop and be a surprise for everybody. Oh, how are they still hiding here? Superman finally gets taken down in the clutch. Pancakes can't do it from drop, and Furia will connect 2 in a row.
A great job for the players early rotating across here as soon as Calm fell for the side of Furia. The idea for EG in that previous round was continue to work with their break that trip on the A-Link side. Shy placed it in a different spot because he was placing the op here to work into the B line. So Calm kind of got caught off guard rotating back. He should have kept watching that lane because that trip wasn't there for him to get the early information.
Nice, let's go guys. Let's go.
But thankfully, the rest of the team was still there for Fury to fight back and have a clean read. With basically losing the null command within this round, you could still see some very similar looks and still have a strong defensive hold for Furia. Because EG is not changing that tempo yet. We'll see if it changes now. That Potter started the timeout.
Oh, a little bit of a play. Usually a paranoia, but it's just a straight-up fight from Furia here at B main. Incredible stuff to keep the fight going. Hunter's Fury a little late on the call, but they knew it could follow up. So nice decision on that to use it as well. The shot ended out. Oh. And now Furia has seemingly come out of nowhere here with these ideas, especially to shut down EG's timeout.
And that's something similar to what Energy does as an opener. You're trying to go for a pop flash recon and then try to see if you get pings and Hunter's Fury through there while you're also fighting the pressure towards that beam line. And it works out. EG threw a cage thinking that they could at least get audio cues because they were getting hit by that flash. But it just put Koala Noob in such a good spot to play around the cage and punish players around that trap play from Furia. Very nicely done. Despite all that, though, EG still has money to work with. This round number 10, it's a full rifle round with them.
Yep.
Trying to go back to that play that Potter was trying to dress up from the timeout. Activate more quickly towards the B hit.
They're going very fast. I think they have to on this one. Just kind of go for the throw. Basic gets 2, another third one through the smoke. And now EG is just scrambling to find where they can go. Basic, another ace? Another ace already, my man? You may let him go for it. Pancakes, pretty healthy here. They're going to swing for Basic to go for the shot. Koala Noobs just a little too quick with the click. And it is going to be a kill there. Another great round by Furia.
An important one for both of them, too. Either or, Basic or Koala Noob going for the last kill onto Pancakes puts them very close into their ults. But yeah, nice, once again, positioning by Furia. Offside execs for the side of EG, playing on the edges of their opponent's smokes or getting tremendous value on the defense for the Brazilian organization. So Basic continuing to fire all cylinders here as a key anchor player for the team. Now this time holding it solo on the B side. Not going to necessarily try to go for a knife yet, because they could still utilize the trip on that B line and play the flood retake as a team.
You know, Vance, I was going to say that was a big round because there were no ults, so we'd really see how the momentum was working. But it didn't take Fury. I need to get in the sight. They're still doing it. Really incredible to see that they have an answer to this so far. Kuala Noob with a quick peek. Oh, Bao's crosshair was there, but Kuala Noob is quicker.
The lower buy for EG. We're trying to pop through this smoke, but it is the Odin that Calm starts spraying towards the main. Yet, you want to try to go for this convergent path? No, Artisan's already in the forward line, so they're just going to farm here, prevent EG from moving through that smoke, but that Calm spray with the Odin, that's a signature from Cortezia over from Sentinels. Learning from that play, and now Furia are closing that gap, only needing one round to tie up the half.
I'm sorry, what just happened the last 5 rounds? It's like it's like a gentleman's agreement. You get 6, now you get 6. Okay, thank you. Like, it's just happening like that, night and day from what we just saw. This looks like Basics defense, honestly. Almost thought it was a replay for a second. They're so clean on both sides right now. Furia is not letting anything through.
Take it! Let's go.
Probably talking about all the assists that he was getting from spraying with the Odin. Recon on top of that, prevent Superman from getting value off the TP. But last round of the half, this is an attack side operator. And look at Fury's aggression. Walking down towards middle, an instant trade. And as it slow things up a bit, though, I think it might come down to giving that opportunity for Digizine to walk up on the attack side and try to get a pick here over on the A line.
Clear on one side with that drone. Not clear, but knowing what's over there, I should say. Oh my God, Zerona just straight up taking on Artsine in sight. Using this wall ever so slightly to creep in. Now faces Calm as he almost gets taken down. They're trying to fight multiple fronts here. Oh, this wall creates such an awkward position. Calm thought he had the walk-in. Twice now, Zerona's been able to do that into A site, giving Furia a hard time for this last round of the first half.
Now you ult in a hat for Bao. That's going to be the information for the last 2 players of Furia. Both of them spotted towards the cave. So it doesn't matter even if the knife from Basic spots 3 players inside the pit. EG can now focus on nobody's going to be flanking. One of them could be late rotate, late flank once again.
Yep.
And the retake's going to be difficult now with Shy low on HP as well.
Holder there. I mean, you expect Shy to make some noise just so you can get a creep in here from Basic. Shy. Basic's also encroached in too. And now he's going to be able to make a move just to his left here. Oh, he gets the shot. Wait a minute. What did he see? Oh my God, Pancakes gets one here. They're scrambling for the last few kills. Bombs on the fast beat. They can't even get their hands on it. Those Pancakes cleans up the Red Bull clutch for a 7-5 first half.
I thought it was going to be another EG versus MIBR. Man advantage, and somehow you let that lead slip. A 4 versus 2 that almost got thrown away. But thankfully the leader, Pancake, steps up, clutches the 1 versus 2, and allows EG to maintain the lead going into the second half.
A 2-round lead for EG as we go into the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more VCT Americas after this.
Yeah, this game is going to be quite close in my eyes, despite the predictions from the talent across the board and maybe even the fans thinking that it's going to be leaning EG for a lot of these matches. But if you're thinking about their strength of schedule for the past couple of games, a lot of their matches against the top teams in Americas went into overtime. So game plans are always very good when it comes down to both these teams. It's just sometimes the gunfights, lots of clutches don't go in their favor. The scenarios where they have players advantage don't go in their favor. So now you're expecting a lot of these bloodbaths to happen for them as they encroach into the B site for Furia. Only 1 player holding it solo for now.
Oh, Zerona onto 1 as they trade with Arts in here. The back of the site's being flooded already, and they realize they have to fight this before they can plan. A nice job by Furia to understand the situation. A quick plant here, and now they can just close in on the obvious angles. But Superman, faster than a speeding bullet, looks to get another one here, and he's going to get blindsided, isn't he? Just trying. Oh my God, what do you mean? Give him a tall building to leap over, quick. Oh, Basic gets the shot, 7-6. That's Furia's pistol round.
What a flick that he just got onto Shy. But going one-on-one against one of the consistent players on the side of Furia being Basic, that was a tough battle to win. But yeah, we were definitely feeling the hope there. I don't like this peak right here from Bao because he was already accounted for in that drop side. And you're almost seeing a little bit of the resurgence of EG having hard defensive rounds when they're getting pressured and they're just peeking at the roll moments instead of waiting for their teammates to come. And it made things a lot more difficult for Superman to try to win that round. Imagine things were a little bit more different. That could have been an easier one for Superman as he finally was able to rotate across. He would be able to rotate across and meet up with his team, but now for EG, it's going into an old school stack. You see them all lined up towards this B line, all looking into the spot just to try to take one or two down if Fury are going to try to work towards this B site. And once they don't, once they realize that Fury is going to plant towards A, I wouldn't be surprised here. Then you go back into the good old tried and true of getting knocked out by the door. And that will allow Furia to put themselves at 7-7. So that was such an important pistol round for the side of Furia on the attack. A big one that breathes a sigh of relief as Basic was able to win that one against Superman.
Plant. See how many Shy can get out of this too and get some points online as a goal for that. But any of them, will they drop a gun here? Or are they all going to go searching or not even searching? No, they realize they're going to get Dora-teened. And an ace for Superman. Was that him? You just yell my first ace. Oh, that's funny.
And the bonus round's still going to be decent for Furia. That's carrying over 3 rifles and a Bulldog. Still great economy to work into the next round, and that is also going to be the biggest test for Furia. I think the pros and cons playing against EG on this map is, first off, when they were getting shut down on their attack against Energy, it was all because of that KO utility from Ethan. The knives were perfect. They didn't have too much util for the sight hits. And then also, the con is that Koala Doom did mention that he feels useless on the attack side, not set up well enough. Which is why you're seeing here both initiators moving up with him on the ace line. If they need a drone, give us some space, pop flash to look for fights, allow for him to activate a little bit more.
I think the one thing they have to work with now is to make sure they have the util perfect on that double controller defense setup. Fury are going to have to break through a few walls to be able to protect Koala Noob. So yeah, it will take all of that organization. But we've seen it before. Many teams will put that player on a pedestal and open up the space, push forward for him so they can make that opening frag and relieve the pressure that teams are feeling before they get into sight. Good bend pressure from Superman here, but they should expect it. He's been here a lot.
It's in a one and done.
Oh my God! he's
a 2-and-1 then.
He's on something today, honestly. Big kills for the team. Pancakes is actually going to look for the peak there, gives himself up, so they identify. They want to fight him. They turned away for a moment, but now they start to come right back to know they can squeeze him out of the corner. Yep, there's one kill. So really nicely picked up there by Furia to find that they could get an advantage.
He was doing his damnness to try to stay alive. You see both players on DJZ and Baozin. Bao to close in and help him out into the A-Link. But because Furia decides to cut noise and re-hit, EG has no choice but to play the retake, to give up the A site and try to move back in after.
Same plant each time here from them as Furia throw it down at Rocky.
Teleport's ready.
So what's the timing that they buy for Zerona, right? He's going to take a while to get over here. They may actually try to get Digizine for a slide in. It's good protection from Zerona.
Bowser has his camera that he utilized to bait for more noise inside the A site.
They're allowing them in. That's not the angle yet that they have to look at Digizine and Zerona. Okay, so they broke a little bit of that site. This is huge. Now it's going to be big for the peak. Oh, Zerona gets 2! Almost a third, but Shy cleans it up. Furia realize they're getting surrounded and act accordingly.
Another close one there that Furia makes it out by the skin of their teeth. With one more stepping up to the plate, this time being Shy to save that round for EG. Lots of multi-frags, for Furia, because lots of multi-frags were getting activated by the side of EG. But they're holding ground, holding towards Garden, and I kind of like that, because they didn't have too much util for Furia to fight towards the cave. right towards the cave to prevent any pushes from moving forward. They had no map control, so try to fight out in the open. It worked out. They now take the lead against EG, 8-7. And EG is once again on another eco, trying to prevent the orb of getting picked up towards the A line. Just leaving middle as a gap as Bao keeps watching it here with the camera on middle. So they're really going to try to find the way that Furia might be working their slow rounds here by their current setup for EG.
Koala already looking down a scope, so you know that somewhat slows the round down too, right? Make sure he can get a pick, he can get any info, understand what the movement might be and where they are util heavy. That's going to be B for the moment, but they haven't committed yet.
I think right now with them not peeking too, well now DJZ's about to get pushed here by Shy. That might open things up, but I think the idea that EG was trying to do was that if there was pressure coming in towards this side on the B line, then they could maybe smoke that out and go for that double flank. That's why Superman just kept his hands out the whole time, getting ready to smoke or towards the turret or into a different spy here to help EG, but ends up being Furia cutting noise from the very beginning. Just getting that first pick and now making sure that they have numbers to their advantage and weapons to their advantage to hit the A site.
Hunkered down inside as they get cleaned up slowly. Oh my God, another one. One last shot. Pancakes doesn't get a chance to shoot it. What a double kill there. And now the 2v3. This bandit could do some big damage. Nope. Quick kills from Furia. They're able to sort that one out as expected. 9-7. The attack side starts to sting here as Furia take a few more rounds from EG.
Yeah, but look at the HP that was remaining towards the end, though. I think it was Shy at 1 and Koala Noob at 7 or vice versa, but there was some good damage being done. You were just hoping from the side of Pancakes. He almost lined up that third kill right here, but thankfully, Shy just jumps so the bullet hits him in the chest instead of in the face. And that allows that plant to go down. If not, that could have been a big eco round for EG. But finally, the economy's correct on their side. They're bringing out the operator in this round number 17. He's watching that line towards A. Once things start slowing down for a bit here, you might see DJZ rotating to a different spot because Bao is also holding a camera just above him to get info in the mid-round.
If they got that op on the line, you can see Bao, like you said, so ready for everything. So what are they doing at B? Waiting back, holding out, letting the site be taken with the util to react. But it's the A side. Superman with a beautiful phantom shot. Basic trades it back though. It doesn't seem like they're happy about this situation of getting in just yet. They got to realize what's behind them. DJZ and Bao take time to pick off a few more of the stragglers. A third one there as EG look to stop the bleeding here after losing these rounds in a row. And Bao on to comm is going to be the last shot they need. Beautiful reset to find that. You called that utility on the right side. They use it so well.
And it's Superman 2 that blocks the rotate on that A-Link. Nice first kill that he has, even protecting DJZ as they were setting up that crossfire on that side. Look at that, the double dash in, he plays that corner, nobody's ready for that.
So good.
Or pod flashing for the entry to happen. You're just starting to see them all drop one by one. Because they've already lost the tip of the spear for the side of Furia with Koala Noob dropping so early. The double dash is supposed to get space. He could recall, and then they slowly gain that advantage to scale back in their favor, but that falls to pieces when you don't have Koala Noob early in the round anymore. So this round, early drone coming out from EG. Full coverage and control of this B line. So now they could stack 3 players over on the A site and prevent what should be Furia attempting their hand at entering towards the garden one more time.
Love that anchor smoke between the trips and A. There's so much that makes it tough to get through. And it's a walk across the map. Coast to coast for Furia on this is they know they at least need to do some conditioning or faking now because EG's been very good at reacting to what's going on. Pancakes move over into position with that Odin on B.
I think that's the thing, though, with the drone coming out very early for Pancakes and the positioning from Artizini, he should have heard that drone. So maybe they're just guessing that Cypher's not there to anchor up the site. So they could regroup as a team and go for the full hit into B.
3 stars instantly. Yeah, that's going to get EG to come on over. And in goes Koala Noob. Spam down from the Odin. This is exactly why they have it. Up in the doorway. Doors closed, and now it's going to be a reset on how the site is played. Ground game for Furia as EG comes from the elevated positions. But they're going to give them time to plant. They don't know they have time to plant. I like the patience here, just kind of creating the nervousness with the time. But Digizine and team have to move. They're letting the operator see if it can find an opening as the Odin slowly creeps around for another kill. They don't have a flank on this, so it's all the members of EG trying to push forward into the site. Calm through the smoke, spam just to the left, going a bit wide, and they're not even on it, actually. For the defuse, it's to half, and it's only Calm and Shy. That's another kill, but Pancakes is able to get a third, looking for a fourth, and the Odin is good for it. Pancakes is good for it, and it's 9-9 now as EG tie it up.
And he was the one solo anchoring at the start with an Odin, and still manages to come out with a 4-piece and still full HP. And that just comes down to the great protocols for EG on that retake. Shy was a little bit too slow on the backstep, but somehow finally was able to make it winnable for the side of Furia. But, I mean, that was 4 players covering up on that spike to at least get it at half. And then I like that from EG. Get away from it, continue to play the buddy system, get rid of the last 2 players for the side of Furia, and then go for the defuse. So Furia needed to have a little bit more oomph into their B site hit. Try to maybe take 1 or 2 earlier on so that Shy could actually get great value off that flank. At least they got the plant down. They picked up a lot of good rounds on the second half. It allows for them to have a strong economy, even with Shy holding out the chamber ult, holding the A line, trying to insert him to maybe fight into the other op of Digizine. But instead, Digizine's now watching the angle onto mid this time around.
Big pop on the mid. The shot from Digizine takes down Calm. And they slowly move it back towards A. Reset on the sniper line. Oh, they choose the same one. Who's going to see that reflection in the scope is the question. Still full extremity control here from Furia. Control, but they're looking as they start to go towards the link and that bend. Somehow EG has 2 members ready for this, or at least 1. With the Hunter's Fury behind it.
With this knife, they should know the position of Superman, though. Furia's already hard clear in the corner.
30 seconds left.
Oh my god. How is your brain so big? Gets him to actually reveal that Basic is there. Take the false shots, but now he doesn't realize there's another one. Superman might take a pie to the face here, but no, he's going to try to go for the kill on Artson himself. Little spam, little tap, little touch, and he peppers another one in there. 3 for Superman.
Probably going to have to start calling that spot Superman here on Summon.
Crazy.
That movement was very nice. Even a close TP inside the smoke, breaks the timing on the peek from Basic, and then just walks back into it. Into the same line. And just isolates every single one of these fights. But it also comes to show how Furia, when it comes down to trying to scale up on here, they're not together. It looks like a huge highlight reel and easy for Superman to do, but for any other day, if you had better util or better protocols to swing against them, that should have been a trade-off instantly for Furia, and that's going to hurt. Because as you talked about, a very strong
self-insight type situation.
So we'll see if we'll dress something up here with the timeout call by Coach Shaw, because Koalanoob does have a convergence pass. That might give him a chance here to maybe really dive in with this double stinger and maybe upgrade some weapons for the side of Fury if they want to go for a Hail Mary. Especially when you have a drone to try to clear out info first.
There's a double stack dash. No coverage this time if they have chosen correctly behind door number 1. While their Koala's still going. Refract just wore off, so he's got to commit to this position now, and he's very happy with at least 1. Neural Theft is going to reveal a lot for EG, though.
My Hunter's Fury this if you want to.
Get him to run around, and that's when Digizine starts going in with the overdrive. They're wreaking havoc on all of the members of Furia, not having any safe place to stand. EG take another round there, and they're not afraid to use ultimates for it.
That's a silver lining for the side of Furia. 3 ults burnt out to get the round for EG when EG's on the anti-eco. And you still have the convergence pass and are also 1 away from a null command. So now the scales have tipped back in favor of Furia to really start cycling some rounds back. Should they get good value out of the next 2 ults in regulation right now. But yeah, this is some nice movements from Digizine.
Talking to Com.
Ready.
Always going to be a fun game between those guys. It's been mentioned for both of these teams where Com plays against his old team.
Yep.
Another opening for Furia to take control of A Garden. This time drone. There's trips this time around too.
I got a little spoopy for a second. Oh, they dashed to the right this time. Switching it up, and it looks like it does throw EG for a loop. Into the site for safety goes the rest of Furia as they protect each other from trips and traps. 3 members of Evil Geniuses to get in now, and it's going to be tough with that op, but they might be able to run through with the Odin and start to make some noise.
That's what was missing there for EG, was a smoke into the garden like they utilized before, so 2 of them get caught out in the open. Too many bodies to deal with. Yet EG still wants to make it expensive. 3 players looking to walk in.
Oh, standing out in the open. That's one of the things with the new map. Your movement's not always the cleanest when you're blind, and Furia see everything in front of them here for a flawless round. And they close the gap now within 1 round.
Pit available too. We haven't had a chance to see that for EG yet on how they set things up in this double controller setup. But as I mentioned, and also you've mentioned, that smoke that's being placed at quad right between the rocks and the green boxes allows for you to get a little bit more value off the trips.
Oh, so good.
Instead, here Zerona tries to find the timing to swing out the fight, but gets punished right away. Furia looking to continue with the fast-paced fights into the B-line control this time around. We did talk about the ults. Cosmic Divide if Artizane's going to pick this up, and they also have a null command to try to really brute force their way against Zerona if they want to.
Trying to bait out some shots so they can just fire into the pit, which they're not afraid to do anyways. That was almost the line they needed onto Zerona. No damage suffered, though. And a little bit of map gain towards Bend as well. It seems like EG really likes the information from Bend, or at least the map mobility, and it's somewhere they always have a player.
Yeah, that's because of Digizine's op. Always good for that one. And from the timeout, you're seeing the changes to it. Just putting the Astra Smoke right there blocks that line. No need to jump spot. And allows for Fury to go for a 3-2-1. Map control on the top of middle. But Bao's camera is waiting for it there. He's going to see them. And he has no utility to help him out here. He has to hide inside the pit with Zerona.
Oh, they're going to be able to swarm around the outside of this. Almost hand in hand as they started the fight. A trade on both sides. As you see, they're trying to return into the site. EG is, with mid still held. Furia has a lot of good cutoffs on the map, so this is taking quite a while. Zerona now is going to be pinned down by 3 and takes 2 of them out alone. 8 bullets left as he get help from Pancakes now.
Probably going to drop the pit if you want to because the spike is down. And that will help EG to set up the crossfire. Instead, he runs in for another pick.
Zerona! The 4K! Makes his house at B site.
That's insane, man. All the timing that he's finding inside that pit was so nice. You see him going into the second stage, playing a little bit of Phoenix, playing a couple of agents here and there, but back in the VCL. The Viper was one of his main agents. Highest percentage played, probably over 60% of the games in Challengers, and that is probably one of the reasons why. Look at the amount of times he's getting picks for players reloading, switching weapons. Great timings.
The idea as well to step out of the pit there when Pancakes was entering so that trade could even be a possibility. And there's no trade on Digizine as he starts off immediately to take down Shy. Still a good bit of util to smoke and enter the site. So the 4v5 conversion is possible, and they are going to juggle this operator right out of the hands of EG. And possibly keep it for themselves. Is that Koala's run? Yeah, he's going to keep it for now.
Yeah, because Digizine still has his, and as they try to rework the map, though, it is a little bit turtled up for the side of EG. They're playing behind the trips this time around instead of trying to look for some garden space. So that's a huge gap right now over here for Furia to start taking. It's passive lines being held by Shy, sorry, not by Shy, but by Bao to look right at this spot.
And I love the way that those work with a Cosmic Divide if it's used too, right? Try to enter straight into the site. Nice cover.
This is also why a walk-up right now from Qualinoob with the operator could be very good in an opener. Down towards that back of the A site.
So they actually divide straight horizontally across spawn. And that's going to be the lurk. Artsin's really going to be the kingpin on this one. The team in sight has to hit the fight that they're presented with. Oh, the timing in spawn is huge, and that's actually going to go in favor of Digis, and I think shots in spawn, sight rather, go for EG. And there's the trade we were looking for in spawn. Spike's finally planted here as they start to rush back to the situation.
Door didn't get closed yet. Digizine doesn't want to go for that fight into the garden. Just waiting for Zerona to meet up with them.
Quick peek from Basic. Been really, really good in these clutch situations here, but now it's Digizine. Oh, he goes for the knife at the moment. He wanted to grab an extra step. And it is punished by Furia. An 11th round going into their favor.
So missed comms, I like to say, on a 2 versus 2. The picks were looking very good on Digizine. Rotating back towards the cave, but like I said, when that door is still open, he could look down towards that line, stay with the confidence of dueling down towards the entrance of the garden, towards the attacker spawn, while Zerona's creeping up. Then you could start working in tandem, but instead, just leaving that gap open. You saw here Furia take full advantage of it.
You are incredible, my man.
Indeed he is. 22, 16, and 12 heading into this timeout is basic for the side of Furia. Thanks to the anchor plays that came out, the wall goes down towards middle, but it doesn't look like they want to take advantage of Digizine with the op to maybe walk down with the team and try to punish maybe a late lurk or any of that fashion for Furia. They just want to play as passive as possible, utilizing Bao's util over on the B side to spray from the top of heaven. And for Digizine to even opt down that line again from this time towards door all the way towards A main. Outside of that, it's all jump spots for EG. They're going to play this whole round with almost zero info and just play more reactive. You see how that one recon from Calm just push everybody out towards middle to converge at that spot.
I was just going to say, they finally tried to get a long distance clear on Bend, and now it's retaken already. EG says, well, you thought that was safe area, and that's exactly where they set up, making sure Zerona is a bit of an insert here as they lean towards A. This is going to get bloody here. Smoke out, Digizine trying to get online. He's going to put himself in sight. That's a bit risky. He's a lot of pressure for it up, but he's going to try it.
Null command will be available after this.
Can he get out in time? That's the question. He's starting to back up. Already has protection. Really nice job by the team to give each other cover here, but Furia is walking in ever so slowly. Zerona shuts one down, but it's quickly traded here. As you see the rest of the EG members start to scramble towards the site, Furia setting up that post plant and backing out.
Knife is slowing him down for a bit for EG, so less util to come back for the retake. Got to think about what Pancakes has. Not even a recon for them to retake across too, so it has to come down to the comms to try to work a buddy system to fight. A Paranoia lined up by Superman.
That's going to miss Basic. He's the one to take the shots. That's the scare. Zerona actually on fire this round, looking for an ace. Another one just to his right. He tries to snap, and Pancakes cooks up another one that's going to be the win for Evil Geniuses on Summit, 13-11.
Took a lot of rounds here for both of the teams and almost a chance for Furia to push this into overtime. Finally finding a groove that you're moving comfortable week after week. And at least what I'm liking is that we're seeing progress for Furia for the first map. It's, despite losses, still always very close games. This time EG starting off on the attack side though. It's a very slow start. Look at Zerona staying all the way back towards that spawn. They're waiting for this push over on the A line too and watching the B line at the same time while taking mid control.
EG just likes to have the spike down in the beginning. No chance for it to get dropped or allow the opponents to know they have an upper hand on a location of that priority objective. Oh, and they're just going to try to reset back. Digizine playing some music to himself with his Sheriff. And they're going to choose the soft site here. So initially this is obviously to just search and find, do a little bit of discovery, but this late in a round, you've gotten the opponents to most likely move a little bit off those nice, safe early lines. And that's exactly what EG is going to get here, just walking into B.
Get recon, hit into the site, read it perfectly at the end of the day for EG to cut noise and re-hit, because there is only Shy inside this B site, and he's so far away to throw util. So it allows 4 players for EG to set up in a post plan and have some very aggressive positions too.
How weird does it become when everything is quiet? Have we pushed up enough? Is our lurk in the right spot? Is EG wondering? They have to be comfortable though. Now knowing 2 are behind, that's great sourced information from Pancakes. Rejoins the team to bolster the ranks inside sight. A big first kill coming in from Superman, possibly just denies one. Oh my god, it's like Pistol of last map on Summit. You can't stop this guy. Okay, somebody did. They threw the gun, blocking all the bullets. Finally goes down. Zerona's there. And my god, EG's pistol rounds are very, very dominant right now as a few final touches of damage from Qualanoob go through, but Bao locks that one down. And yeah, fist bumps all around. EG have to be happy about that.
What you really do for Furia there. Despite them spawning Pancakes on the double flank, what was most important was a knife that was thrown into Elbow. They knew here that Superman was hiding in the corner of Elbow. So the first layer of the retake was to have 4 players to take him over. And as they do so, he just swings out and pops 2 in the front line. Maybe it had to be for Furia to hold that distraction in the front side so the back side could get a pick. But at the end of the day, there's no way Superman should have walked away with that. That's going to hurt here for Furia in terms of the confidence. The pistol round loss this time around. Another gamble stack. This time onto the B site that allows Digizine to open up A. Calm falls down, and now EG could just take their time.
That's having that other smoke, too, of Bao to throw in there. It doesn't have to be the Viper Orb to close off mid from Superman. The backpedal, though, a little bit of a fadeaway help from Digizine. Nice protection for each other. Or rather, Bao back there.
Adding shields.
We'll see where they decide to run this one out. Pancakes quickly taking position. What? little sidestep flick. Made it look clean. Some aura on that Bulldog. Why not a second round here? Remember, EG were able to grab their first bonus quite handily, even after losing Digizine last map. We'll see how they play this one.
Another fun game that will build the confidence for EG if they could continue this time. And this type of play around. Remember here, Bao had a little bit of smack talk against Kama on the other side, but also Pancakes was mentioning in an interview has an opportunity to play against an old teammate like Kama, but it wasn't on EG back in the day.
No.
We're rolling back the years to the late tail end of 2021, 2022, early 2022 when they were playing together on a crew, getting 34 rounds maps series in a row for them to be one of the top teams in the VCL.
Digizine on a quick one. They're pressuring a gun round like this. Their bonus, I should say. They know where Shy is now. They can clean out ladder. Pancakes on that. This is why this guy was picked up right here as Calm answers back. How about those two? Zerona drops him through the wall. You are never safe in this site, it seems. Spike plant goes down. It's 2 members here from Furia to try and take this back. And these, as they save, I would say, are the exact rounds EG were saying we need to win the rounds we are for sure going to win. Doesn't look like they'll have any trouble here. It won't plague them this time.
Trouble that Furia is having now is finding ways to stall on these B-side hits. Despite them having so many players this time around for Furia, they were just still, if you're looking at the still in spots where they're not really there to trade off with each other. One hiding behind the ladder. You can't get traded off from the front of that site. Second one falls down, the other one gets wall banged, so you can't really do anything for Furia. They're not as coordinated to stall EG.
Oh, one more for Basic. And I love that point about Calm and Pancakes, because it was funny back then on a crew, that was Calm basically playing like Sentinel controller. He was Brim, Viper, KJ, and Pancakes was still the Sova, and now Calm, when he switches over to EG, the championship roster, starts Sovaing his face off, and now they get to compete against each other as Sovas.
Exactly. Stepping away from a crew in February of 2022, and then winning champs in 2023 with Evil Geniuses.
Good step up. That's a good step up.
Unfortunately, a fall down these times around, and he's hoping to turn it around with the Fury roster this time around. Fortunately, trailing by 3 rounds and only saving 2 weapons from the previous round, Basic and Qualanoob are trying to work together to take the mid control. EG, their starts, man. They're always at the beginning of staying all the way back towards spawn.
And then quick rush. It's just once that gate breaks, they are all flooding into the site. Run it back is kind of freaking everybody out towards mid. Nice job by Zerona to create problems with that ultimate. Digizine, oh, ground covered, but also flashed to high heaven and couldn't follow up with the kill there. But they're still trying to push. Zerona knows they still need a little backside control here, so he puts himself in a position. Furia starts to encroach, and this is where that double controller starts to help a little bit, but there's no gas online anymore. The tank is empty. And Furia continue to move in. Shy only has a Sheriff here, so they're trying to back each other up with that firepower towards the other side of pillars. And yeah, they have such a good sight on this spike. No need to peek until all this util goes down.
Oh no, it missed!
It tapped. It hit the ceiling before it actually got to its position. So you're right, it completely missed out. Now the cove down, they're going to try to get some shocks in. What in the world? In an instant. I think I blinked, but they're dead. This is the end of the round 4 for Evil Geniuses.
That was supposed to be a shock and snakebite lineup to just instantly kill the players inside the cove. And I felt, as you saw it from that picture-in-picture, that the snakebite just hit the ceiling and didn't fully land onto the spike, yet the shock dart still kills both of them in the end. Gotta count your lucky stars from time to time here for the side of EG. Yeah, 75 HP remaining there on basic. That's a full hit.
Double shot kill, goddamn! We have lineup.
We have lineups.
Well, it's a fast round for EG. Zerona is already down to low HP as they're looking to encroach on the split into the A site. Another first blood for EG, though.
Furia says we need to speed it up faster. EG says we're going even faster, and we are already into the back of the site, 20 seconds in. Digizine looking to flex it. Koala Noob more than ready, though, and we're going to keep the eyes down his scope for a second. There's still some mobility around the map to get over to this fight. Furia rotating here, but EG is set up and ready to defend.
See how annoying it is for Koala to try to retake the site when this Viper wall is
so
sliced
tough.
in that site, kind of like a harbor, pretty much, right? They're playing a double controller in that sense so that you still have the recycled smokes from Bao to really gain so much value and block the vision from Koala Noob getting any value with the operator. They read correctly, too, to avoid Koala Noob at the beginning of the round, but you're seeing instantly that Furia has no choice but to save these 3 weapons into the next round.
And you would expect it to come from somebody like Evil Geniuses, right? Whether or not they're always counter-stratting, it's something that has been a Potter playbook. So if you're going up against a team that just wants to feed their operator, cut those angles off. 2 maps, a double controller here for EG. And they've had this start. But that's the asterisk. They've had this start. This is exactly where they were first map, and we had a very close game. So we'll have to see as the ultimates start to come online. Koala Noob is going to verbatim the same talk they had on a summit. Because he said, yeah, we started slow. That's what he said to Emily. Between maps, it was slow. That's not us. Let's see what we got. So towards that right, the operator, not so much protected, but does have backup in the site, if necessary. And A main control, which means they are more correct to choose any mid play or B control from Furia here. So nicely started to be a little different. True flexing.
Yeah, doing a little bit of the Ziggs tech as well, using the flex to show less of your body. And even going for the 1-minute drone. So this might allow for Koala to be a little bit more comfortable to opt towards this B line because the drone's going to see nothing here. No A-side pressure from EG.
Spike drop.
Don't think anybody's in range for that. And this is going to be the Digizine space creation. Oh, they all TP into sight here. Reckoning comes flying through as the Hunter's Fury tries to disrupt this entry. A very nice push. Digizine able to close that paranoia gap up, though, from the cove, or from the smoke of harbor, rather. And now where will they go with this? How will they continue to push themselves in? Digizine slowly goes for the long peek there. Not realizing all the members of Furia got themselves in a position, and they took that one slow and methodical to make sure they didn't give up too many kills to EG.
First error coming out from EG on the exec as well. Azul, you're getting stalled by the Reckoning on the side of Furia. EG did a great job to fight towards the pressure that Furia was trying to move forward with behind that wall, but that's where that mistake comes. Bao TPs with the Omen ult, or just double TPs on the top of Castle, and it just loses a spike in the back of the site. Instead of just trying to get the spike down, he was prominent. He was very adamant to try to push forward in the back of the site to trade with the rest of his team. It allows here for the rest of Furia to rotate across and watch each other's backs and score their first round of their defensive half. Again, very similar pastors coming out from a timeout from Coach Shaw, but not necessarily a good game plan drafted on his side. It was a mistake from EG more than anything else here that allowed for them to get that round.
These early smokes are actually allowing EG to really get up close. Like, Qualinu takes a shot. I think he's going to find Bao in his face. But look at that timing. Oh, he tried to step in and get the shorty on. Very smart by Qualinu. He's making a lot of noise. He's got to stay moving himself as they're kind of rotating in and out here. You see a little backup by Calm as he knows the site's held a little bit more now, so he's staying in a lean position.
There's just too much space given away. Calm is holding all the way towards Troll, so they don't have ways to find mid control, mid information. Yeah. There was an opening there, possibly, for Artazine to get that pick right into the back of the B side. Instead, they smoked themselves out.
No trade yet on Artazine. He's actually going to be a big nuisance here in the back. Bao covering. This is really nice that they've walked up mid already. They just got to count with these next shots. And yeah, Bao is able to snap down on one. That means the site is open and Artazine's left out in the open, dead to rights.
If you don't get an instant pick here, this might be a save. Yeah, especially with that smoke going down into Molly. So another round where Basic and Qualinu will have to fall back, but EG are chasing for these kills. And that's the op down. And Basic's nowhere close to try to pick it up and fall back. But he is going to try to stay as close as he can to try to pick up at the last second. But again, it comes down to not having any information over here for the side of Furia. Should have been an easy pick from Digizine on to Artazine in the back of the B site, but even if he doesn't get the pick, they've already gained so much space for EG to just go for the split into the B site. And again, Furia in a position where they can't trade off each other. Like I one committed to try to fight towards that B main. This guy's trying to fight towards the back of that B site. Nowhere where they could go for multi-kills together and go for the trades.
They definitely don't have an answer for what's happening in the smokes mid, right? If it goes up, they're like, maybe we don't need to cover it, but then they're orbing themselves, so they don't have their cross anymore from double doors. So a lot of it's just left up for guessing in the end. It becomes tough. Shot and another one. Nicely done. What's the answer? Do they fully push down mid now? Do they have to aggress the smokes?
Trying to pit Koala Noob down towards middle.
Here.
Right, something, yeah.
Maybe that or into the elbow line. He could find that timing to try to take down an early lurk. This is why potentially Calm is playing towards that B line. Yeah, he's droning towards that spot so that Koala Noob could take that line. That at least would be a nice start. Because on the other side of the site, a knife just hit 3 players. A pop flash, but nobody's swinging out of that towards that A line. So that was a little bit wasted, at least for Furia, but they have some good information. And look at that. The smoke coming in from Bao, all the way back towards the elbow. Forces Quality to hold a different spot, and it would allow EG to maybe reset back into the B line hit. That's exactly where they're moving towards to.
This works so well for them. They did so much conditioning this middle to now get the op line off of the site take where they should just be able to squeak by. Oh my gosh. If that was Omen, they might have seen the cape or Sova. And yeah, have completely circumvented having to face the operator at site now from all that pressure that they said you need to think about us mid. So Furia guessing wrong, and EG should have the entry, but they have to be protecting of their tunnel. That's where the op is. Zerona's going fast into the site on the ultimate to create more space. They don't have any smoke coverage for that side just yet. The wall's over at A.
Still scratching my head onto why is Bao always TPing on the top there. Free kill for Furia to take, and they somehow take the advantage by 2 for the retake opportunity.
Flash over the top. Starts to come in. What a spray. Zerona in a beautiful position under that smoke. Dodging. Oh, God. Just giving Koala Noob a chance to come in and pull Superman's hair out there for the daggers. A defuse and a deja vu along with that. 6-2 now as Furia start to bite back.
Furia has to be lucky as well. That was a beautiful timing by Zerona for jumping through. And I think as he drops down the KO, because you're dropped down on your knees through your ult, he's still spraying to try to get the third guy, but it's just Artazine absorbing all of the shots. Yeah. Which then allows the third player for Furia to trade it out. That's why it becomes 2 free kills so far on each side execs from Bao's TP. feel like he's almost missing his smoke before that. You need to have maybe something up there. Digizine Cloudburst or his own smoke to get in that spot, but those 2 rounds that Fury got right there was thanks to an easy player advantage from that position because of Bao.
And right back to mid, just like that, already in his face. Bao dash out, or Digizine rather dash out, able to find that one as QualiNoob takes to the skies and is taken right down. But Basic is just in the frying pan right now, looking for help from Calm here just behind him, and he'll get a bit of protection. Nice job, that Harbor utility, to keep them alive. The rest of EG is trying to squeeze in. I got to credit here for Fury to keep themselves up and safe. But these walls drop, and it's going to get messy really fast. It's about who can react the quickest. And it's EG who actually has the lines, all of the shots that count. The rotation from Shy is just too far. As the spike goes down here, they should be able to set up this post plant and get a 7th round for EG.
Shy never rotated.
Yeah.
Because EG, there was an opening for them to fall back. That Viper wall was always up here for the side of Superman. So that could have been a moment where they decide to fall back and re-hit the B site because there was no pressure coming in from Furia to retake the A site. Gotta say, Bao found a little bit of a redemption on Furia's attempt to retake the A site as he TP'd on the top of bricks this time around, but finds the better timing and stayed up there, perched up at that spot to mow down 2 players.
Just kind of lives out of that one. You can tell he was ready to react. But yeah, EG, the operator for Digizine. The money's there for Furia. But honestly, if we keep going back and forth like this, that is not going to be the case. And just working it slow. He made a fast play to go in, get those first shots on the QualiNoob, and took his prize all the way to the end of the round of that operator.
Fortunate as well. Knowing how good QualiNoob is with the operator, that should have been dead to rights.
The elevation.
Yeah. Mid-control attempted by EG because of Digizine's op that he picked up from the hands of QualiNoob on the previous round. This is just a simple pop flash to make EG think that there's some sort of heavy pressure in the crossfire set up for Furia. So EG, let's continue to hold this slow, wait for the cove to dissipate, and then still leverage Digizine to try to walk around to get a first blood pick. The end of the day, the last resort for EG would be to group up and potentially use Superman's pit.
That's it's so big. I mean, they've bought 40 seconds basically off that flash. The last few rounds, EG was already trying to fight in this position. So yeah, a little bit later of a round. Hasn't seemed to bother EG too much when they wanted to play like this, so they might have an answer. But I do like the movement from Furia. Get back towards A and start to set up these anchor positions. It's just that mid again. Is it going to plague them? It's open with a bit of sight line from either side. This
is twice now that EG avoids the drone and then starts taking mid control because they kind of know the rotate from Calm after droning. Look at the forward spacing that we currently have now of Bao on the top of middle. He could continue to cut rotates as they split into B. Fortunately, though, he just got spotted, so that's going to force EG to just go pedal to the middle into a B-side exit. There's only 2 players of Furia here, though.
Oh, Shy was looking around for utility to actually take out of the air as he gets taken down. What timing. It doesn't matter if EG's put down on the pressure cooker. They thrive and get that spike down with a timer in the red zone. Oh, he's still pushing. Still pushing. Oh, what is this? Oh, he just did the same thing to end the last round on top of bricks over at A. It doesn't matter where he is or when it is. That is a clean 2K.
That's going to hurt Furia on their defensive side. Again, I've mentioned how Furia usually likes to, or usually are very, very comfortable playing their defensive halves. Yet, unfortunately, you're seeing now the second flash. You don't know how many players actually did get hit by that.
True.
What's your next layer? You want to try to fight back towards A main control, knife towards A main, recon, drone, something on that side. Yet somehow I almost feels like even if you're having both initiators on both sides, they're still lost here in trying to figure out where EG's work in the mid round. Finally, it's almost like we got to try to give up certain space so that we can just fight and encroach on different spots. This is why we have the walk down from QualiNoob.
Zerona looking at an ultimate if he can get the kill on Artazine here. Doesn't lock that one down. Nice fragment combination kill with the Sheriff, but it is followed up on by the squad. Wait, here comes Furia though. Hot and heavy. Actually going to do the Reckoning out of here with some hero rifles.
No.
It's the push through. Oh, Bao's going to do it again. That's deja vu so much. We're in a dream. It's Bao's dream right now. Oh, okay, he gets down. Koala Noob. It's turning into a nightmare. Wait a minute. 1v3. Pancakes the Operator and the Hunter's Fury and a lineup. We got lineup. Superman all the way back here.
He's saving.
Don't worry about it.
I gotta say, I'm scratching my head this time on Furia's side. The retake with the Reckoning. Not too sure where he threw the Reckoning from. I almost felt like he's still in good enough range
It
to
was right around yellow, the box, I think.
push that across the map, but yet somehow it just stopped right before the spike, which just doesn't give a chance for Furia to activate around that and to regain that space in the back of A towards Palm. And you have no choice here. It was just a broken retake in EG. That's a mistake that they'll take on their side this time around. You give 2, you take 1, but you still hit the lead by 7.
Yeah.
In a 9-2 scoreline.
13-3, Bao on top. You're getting another run it back from that strategy. I mean, whether or not Zerona went down, the team was ready to go in, and now you have a fold over of the run it back for the next round. And these plays from Bao. He's kind of playing outside the box at the moment, right? Things are probably just happening, and then he's peeking or taking that off timing. All right, it seems like everything is an off timing he's got against Furia right now. He just is inside their head.
And the Duelists are finding some great impact frags for EG at the start. Digizine at 4-1, Zerona at 2-2.
Jeez. Making sure they're getting themselves in early and getting an advantage for the team. Digizine. I was going to say that's a solo mission up mid, so it's going to be tough as you're clearing your own angles, and Koala is faster on that one.
Move out and fight. Find your value. Trust here that your Duelist could really win his duels when you're trying to have them push down these lines. So it's a great 2-player advantage to start, although 2 big ults still available for EG.
Yeah.
So Zerona's going to try to find that space into another ult hit into B.
It's almost like who's close, who makes the noise first. Goes for a hot hands to the back. Nicely done by Koala Noob to play that calm and cool. And they wait. Oh my gosh, the Sixth Sense. He just sourcing players left and right. A good flash takes Pancakes down, and they're going to be able to get basic up for that last one onto Zerona. 9-3 there for Evil Geniuses in the first half. They keep that momentum in their favor.
You almost wish you had that going in from Koala Noob at the beginning of this half. With the Operator, with the rifle, anything, just to get him that space. Look at how many isolated fights he finds. A 4K in that round. But it's EG with a strong lead in the second half, a 9-3 scoreline. Will it be enough, though, for Furia to overtake their attack side?
We'll have to see back some rounds on EG in the first half.
Yeah, turning up wasn't a name of the game there for Furia. They were trying that against EG. Doesn't pan out. Coach Shaw had to fix things a little bit. Took 2 timeouts for them to finally activate a little bit more aggressively. Unfortunately for Furia, another slow start in a map.
Doors when we peek top mid together.
Yeah, smoke doors.
Careful elbow.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Window clear.
Clear under.
Yeah, off angled, off angled. They're mid fight, mid fight, mid fight.
2, 3. 3 mid fight. Omen, Phoenix, Jet, Sova. 4.
Okay. This guy's pretty passive here, né? Boa, big.
Really open.
There's 2 mid, fighting. Phoenix and Jet. Não posso falar português, esqueci.
Chaz out there.
Jet tiro no peito.
Eu vou fazer a parede.
Water rising.
Que é o bomb só. O cara vai furar, tá? Acho que não, mano.
Vai ter ninguém, pô.
Não, mano. Tenta plantar só, mano. Não tá.
Watch out flank after.
Yeah.
Spike planted.
Vou olhar atrás do bomb aqui. Esperando costa agora.
Ah, só olha a costa, Big.
Mano, só costa, acho, mano.
Hey, man.
Costa.
Last player standing.
Peguei da o Jet.
Tiro no peito.
Não,
Tá short.
EG, a big lockdown on another round there. You could hear the kind of the comms back and forth here for Furia. We're calm, but it doesn't seem like they were able to get anything they wanted.
It even almost felt like they got surprised here at the beginning of the round. They walk out, the wall instantly comes down, and suddenly they lose 2 players, and they're like, oh wait, they're fighting mid. They're fighting mid.
Oh, I don't know if I like this call.
I don't know if it's on the call here on Furia's side or not, because like I said, it almost felt like Furia was surprised. They found no way here to find early information of where EG could be setting up. Unfortunately, it is only 1 pistol in this series that Furia has won so far, losing both of them on this half.
Yeah.
And putting EG in a strong start, forcing Furia to go on a mixed buy. Stingers trying to rush into the site here.
Superman might deliver a kill, another gun, I should say, to Furia. Digizine answers, though. There's going to be Phantom right on the other side, backpedals, and he actually fadeaways right in the eyes of his opponent. So that's going to be another kill. 3v3 as they move in. This could easily be a round where Furia run over EG with the Stingers, because EG's got to come within that medium to close range now.
Good thing is the drone's going to see that the Phantom hasn't been picked up yet. Finally, they hear the noise of the jump back in the back of Castle.
What do they have? Smokes, Paranoia, Flash. They could easily get up there and take them by surprise, but it's going to be these straight out shots. They have to make sure they do this as a team. Oh my God, they just the kitchen sink it, basic. And Zerone is able to get that one. It got sketchy. Furia made a good case for it, but EG still grabbed the second round.
The comms here for the double flash on both Zerona and Bao. No way there that Furia could play the game this time around in the post plant. And good on Digizine to get these picks, because Superman not too sure why he's walking forward to get info in the first place. He got caught. But thankfully the rifle was good enough. You allow here Superman to do a small mistake here and there because he's been so dominant in this series. Now you are able to get at least a plant for the side of Furia, so that allows you to have some sort of a buy. Shy with a rifle with no armor.
And Evil Geniuses have to be feeling good about the momentum coming into this week. Energy will be watching them, as it's a chance that they get their feathers ruffled if EG can come out strong with 2 wins. They have to get through Furia first.
No way.
And setting things up like that are one way to get through your opponent.
I mean, that's a recon going out. You have a choice or to break it. You don't have that time to fall back, and he gets caught. Just when we talked that rifle that was purchased there by Shy with no armor, that's the best rifle out of the hands of Furia for this round. And you see how different it is. Look at where Digizine's at. He's pushing down and picking everybody.
Oh my God, this guy is on fire. The confidence you're seeing right now is absolutely absurd. Just solo swinging left and right, 10 bullets, doesn't even need to reload, knows that's enough to take out another team if he needs. And EG, actually, they slow it down. Respect for not going a little too crazy and letting a round go to waste like this.
And I'm also down for it, because if he's going to try to hold things out and get information on the last 2 players, man, bring in somebody else to start chasing these guys down. He's already got his ult ready going into the next round.
Get Zerona another one. He's probably got like 5 already on Breeze. He had so many last half. Ooh, nice jump. Koala Noob with some dance moves, but does take a good bit of damage for it. 1 sliver peek and 1 wide peek. Goes away the B. 12 seconds on the plant.
Available.
Snake bite available. That's going to sting a little bit. And there's 4 to plant. No, I don't think so. A 12th round for EG just on the horizon here, as Basic is going to get timed out and maybe sat down. Oh, he does his best to stay alive here. I mean, it's Basic. He'll always take a fight. A nice round from Evil Geniuses. 12 now for them as they put the match on a game point.
All right, another silver lining. Basic gets a highlight reel, gets an ult for the next round, and hopefully that could be something to help him get around in the second half. But there's something that's missing out of Furia right now that loses their identity from kickoff.
No,
I think one thing... yeah, onto Calm.
Oh.
So that's unfortunate. But yeah, again, just to knock it away here, we'll hold that thought. It seems like a desperate measure for Furia to just fully hit towards this B site, potentially with this reckoning.
Well, it is nice that Calm can enjoy some pie with his old team here as we come into what could be the final round of this series. There's the smoke. There's the play. Furia looking to play a little bit quicker off of this one, which means everybody's going to have to be behind each other on the trades. So far, it's just Koala Noob really making the space, and it just takes a moment for everyone to get in and set up. A full retake from EG now. Harbor walls up. Digizine's going to try to get a glance before that fully goes into its highest form. And they have walls on walls with this composition as they try to buy a little bit of time. Hearts and Fragment to displace. They're basically on top of each other around the site right now as they start diving into the cove. Kills from both sides. And there's the jump up. Shy waiting for the ants to creep around the roaches to find their way out of the woodwork. And somehow EG has turned the lights off again for Furia. And it's going to be one last one. Koala Noob doing his damnedest here. The defuse goes down. It's going to be there for Superman. The cape flowing in the wind. And Evil Geniuses take down Furia.
A heartbreaking stage 2 for Furia, going and losing all of their games.